Okay, so we had a 2 week trip in Brazil where we visited Bahia, Rio, Sao Paulo, and Belo Horizonte. So for this first part of our video, we have just arrived in Bahia and we're being driven by the taxi to our hotel,
Airbnb.
to our Airbnb. So, for all of the soccer lovers out there, we're about to pass the Itaipava Arena Fonte Nova, which was built in 2013 for the FIFA Cup. They do a lot of tours of it, so if you're interested in that, you can go and check that out. We did not do that, though. So we're just about to show some footage and video of our Airbnb. And this Airbnb was right on the beach, and it was super cheap. Wasn't it like $20 a night or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was $20 a night. It was super duper nice.
It had a rooftop pool.
Yeah, it had a rooftop pool that you'll see in a second. Yeah, so this is a view from the rooftop. And yeah, it's oceanfront.
Yeah, and I think that was really early in the morning, like 7 a.m., 8 a.m., before everybody actually came out.
Yeah. And here's a panoramic view of the rooftop. I might try to look up and see what the name of the Airbnb was, and then I'll leave that in the description box. This is my little photo shoot. And yeah, I mean, there were just in the host was like really, really nice. There we were able to just check in at the front, and yeah, I would highly recommend Airbnb. I know that some folks are a little bit weary about it for international travel, and I can't speak to the experience necessarily in other countries, but in Brazil it was really good.
Yeah. In Bahia.
In Bahia. Yeah, I would say to obviously like read the reviews and all that stuff, and yeah, we just hung out at the beach for a little, watched some people surf.
We are in Baja, and we just left our Airbnb, and I got this coconut water. And we're walking to this place called Açaí Natural, or is it Natural, where I used to eat when I lived here way back in the day. And I mean, the food and the açaí is amazing. That was actually where I discovered açaí. I haven't been able to get enough of it since. So we have a 20-minute walk ahead of us, and we will take pictures and such when we get there.
Okay, so I'm biased because I already had like a love for this, but what did you think about it?
Oh, it was really good. It was really good. It wasn't too sweet.
Yeah, that's actually the place where I discovered acai back in 2013. And this is the mall. I think it's called Mall du Baja, or no, Shopping Baja or something like that. It's huge, 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 And things are, by the time you make the conversion to like American dollars, things are a lot cheaper.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, because I think that theirs is like a fourth of ours, their currency. And I ended up getting a couple things. I think I got like 2 bikinis, and Maurice got a beach outfit. But by the end, he was trying to get us out of there. And I would highly encourage going out at night. I'm so bummed that I could not remember the name of this bar area. I want to say it's right off the beach. So, it's called Rio Vermelho. So it's like Red River in Portuguese, and you can't go wrong. It's a really good time. I think that there's certain days. There was a random like, I think it's like what Tuesday or Wednesday is their best night or something like that. Double fisting. So we're inside the bar. We went inside because it actually did start raining, and it started raining pretty hard. I think it only lasted like 15-20 minutes, but by the time we came out of the bar, everybody was also inside bars. So the little square that you just saw, it kind of emptied out because all the seats and the tables were wet. But you cannot go wrong with caipirinhas or caipiroshkas, and you can get like all these different fruits in it. So I had strawberry and kiwi. Strawberry and kiwi were my favorites. What'd you like?
I like I think it was mango.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
mango caipirinha. So yeah, definitely caipirinhas by themselves, like without fruit, are good. But I would highly recommend getting some fruit infused because it is amazing. It's unlike any other cocktail you've had. Street artists are everywhere, and they're pretty affordable. I would say it's nice to patronize them every once in a while. Sometimes they'll try to overcharge you if they know that they can tell you're American. But yeah, there's a lot of like, there's poverty everywhere, right? But there's a lot of poverty and homelessness in Brazil. So, if you can afford $1 for them, that's $4 reais. So I think it's really nice to do. Now to Ouro Preto. We took a tour there.
After he back to Portugal and left his son here. So we became independent, but we have empire. And here become the historical site.
It's a really, I think it was a few hours outside of Belo Horizonte, right?
Yeah, like 2.5 hours.
Yeah, and so you may have heard Minas is like, it's been in the news a lot, and I won't try to, give you information that I don't have about it, but a quick Google, you'll see that they've been struggling a little bit, like their economy, but they have a lot of history, and we went on a bunch of church tours and things like that. They were beautiful. It was packed too. I think there was some sort of music festival there while we were there, so that we didn't actually know about beforehand. It just so happened to be going on when we got there. Here you see the different ceilings of the churches. Interestingly, their churches, so most of them are not active anymore. They're mostly just like museums and things like that, but they were organized by race, so they were segregated racially. So we went to like they had the churches for white folks, and then they had the churches for mixed race folks. So they had like church for people that were black and white, and then they had churches. They had a church for people that were black, so like African people that were of African descent. It's really interesting. Here's Maurice striking a pose. The views were incredible, also. Maurice striking another pose. It was like there was a lot of overcast, but it was still really warm. I was kind of overdressed. Got my acai, and I think it was acai and condensed milk.
I didn't have that.
Yeah. Giving that a thumbs up. And here is they were setting up the music festival. And you have like there were a lot of these artists or these like jewelry creators and were from other parts of South America, and they were backpackers. I did go in there and buy some trinkets, like souvenirs for folks. And they had some really nice stone carvings for really cheap. Getting his angles. Aww. And there were little monkeys in the trees. I'm not sure what's up with these monkeys, but they were eating the berries off the trees, so some people were feeding them. I wasn't doing all that, but got some footage. And they were so cute. Did you do anything? Those were the berries that they were eating.
People were eating it.
Oh yeah, and people were eating them too. I don't think I ate it. Did you? So we had a really long layover in Sao Paulo, so we made the most of it. We had decided that we were gonna do not hesitate to ask a lot of questions. Ask people questions. A lot of folks in Sao Paulo speak English or some, a little bit of English. And so we asked, what was going on. I think I did also do some Googles, but we found that there was a like local kind of farmers market going on, and we also found some really good restaurants. And so I think we both enjoy long layovers that give us the opportunity to see a city that we wouldn't have been able, like that wasn't necessarily on our itinerary. So we were able to squeeze in Sao Paulo even though we didn't stay there overnight. And there's so much street art. I think Sao Paulo is actually known for its murals and graffiti art and stuff like that. Yeah, because they, I actually, I do know this about Sao Paulo. So a lot of Marvel, like the animated Marvel animations and things, are designed by artists in Sao Paulo.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like the graphics for the comic books and stuff. Oh, so we got these mosquito or mosquitoes repellent things that I think were pretty effective.
Mm-hmm.
If you do not use bug spray, you will, get tons of mosquito bites. We also did the yellow. We also took the yellow fever shot because there were a lot of outbreaks around the time that we were visiting. So make sure that you do your research on that and your due diligence to know what, if any, um, shots you need to get or like immunizations and things, because you'll be exposed to things that you're not exposed to at home while there. And because it's so humid, there are lots of mosquitoes and just bugs in general. I think actually
Yeah.
during,
Also, you need to take it like a month in advance because it takes like 2 weeks to kick in.
yeah. So make sure that you're, um, doing your research well in advance. Don't wait till the last minute because at certain times of the year or certain in the past, the shot has been required. Sometimes it's, you can opt in or opt out, but there's certain immunizations that are a requirement to travel. And I've heard horror stories where folks get to the airport. Um, and usually it's not an issue getting into Brazil. Sometimes it's an issue getting back into the United States. So if you don't get the shot and it's required during that period of time, you could be turned away when you're trying to get back into the United States and then have to stay in Brazil longer. Which, I mean, staying in Brazil longer, it's not the most terrible thing, but if you run out of money or you got to get back to work or something, it could be an issue.
R$ 3 a caixa do mamão agora. R$ 3 a caixa.
Não, obrigada.
They had fresh everything out here. Fresh juices that were amazing. The only thing is they didn't have ice, so that was kind of a struggle. Drinking the juice but warm, but it still managed to be good. I think by the time we got there, it was sort of calming down a bit because some people were packing up. But I was also kind of disappointed when we were in someplace else where they were having a like flea market, and I didn't know about it in advance, so we couldn't make it because we had a tour organized. But I made a mental note to check on those sorts of things in advance, so I know what local kind of happenings are going on. Because those are always nice. And there is nothing like, I feel like Brazil's produce is unmatched.
Yeah.
Like, that's the best fruit I've ever tasted. And we've had fruit from a lot of different places. But there's something about their climate that just makes everything so good. If I could find a way to have their fruit delivered to me in the States, I would do it. Because it's like, we have, you can taste the difference. Like, you can taste that, like, our stuff is not super ripe, that it's not grown in the best of conditions. Yeah, we had, like, juices and smoothies several times a day.
Yeah, and the avocados.
And the avocados. You're gonna see that later in the video, but if you are an avocado lover, oh my goodness, you will pass out. And some folks, I heard people saying that, like, you don't want to, like, so we can't drink their water. They don't even drink their water, I don't think. So everybody pretty much drinks bottled water, um, which when it comes to things like ice and certain kinds of produce that, they use their water to wash, or, they may. I know that people have approached it with caution. Neither of us had any issues. I mean, we drank bottled water, but we didn't have any issues with the produce. So, I mean, to each his own, but I don't think that it's something that you need to be, like, super afraid of.
And we had a couple drinks with ice. I mean,
Yeah. Here we are with more caipirinhas. So I think that was kiwi and where that papaya. And this food was off the chain, right?
Yeah, it was.
Now headed to Rio. Rio was like the last, I think, 4 or 5 days of our trip.
Yeah.
So we spent the bulk of our time there. But I would say Bahia is my favorite place in Brazil. My favorite city that I've been to so far. The beach, we stayed like right across the street from the beach. And this boardwalk is lit.
It is.
Like, all weekend, there's people walking up and down the street. Even during the weekday, there are people out there, people jogging, walking their dogs and stuff. And there are bars all along the boardwalk. And when you I think that the walking that we did while we were in Rio was probably the most walking we've ever done in a day.
Hey. Hi. Walking down the street. We have like such a good view from the hotel. And this is how we are dressed.
Yeah, I think like to walk. So we walked all the way up the boardwalk, and then I think we Ubered to the other end one day. But then every other day we just walked, and I want to say it was like 4 miles.
No, I think it was about 7 miles.
7 miles from end to end that we walked, and it is worth the walk because you just see so much stuff. Like they have vendors, they have bars, you can meet other folks who, like, maybe when you're ordering at a bar, they're like, oh, you're speaking English, where are you from? And then you just strike up conversation with people. I feel like the Americans are friendliest when you meet them abroad, Like,
Yeah.
there are people that may not necessarily talk to you on the street at home, but they hear you speaking English when you're traveling, and it's like, oh my God.
Yeah,
An
they
American.
know everything about you.
Yeah. My fellow Americans. Yeah, and there was some overcast here too, but the weather was still really nice. I think Sao Paulo looks the most like, westernized.
Yeah.
So like the cars and everything, they're very, contemporary. Like it doesn't look too different from, I don't know, maybe a beach town that you would see in the United States. The gas stations in the middle of the street were weird too.
Yeah, because it was like a pit stop.
Yeah.
Like if you was racing a car.
Yeah, and it was like you just pull over real quick and then you keep going. It was convenient though.
Yeah.
Okay, this is one of the restaurants that we went to, and it was pretty pricey. Like, it was more expensive than the ones that we've been to in other cities.
Yeah, it's better to stay. Actually, go to the buffet ones.
Yeah.
Where you got like the all you can eat meat and everything like that. Those are the ones that are like best price and the food is better
Right
too.
now, we're
Yeah.
having the caipirinha on cashew. Oh, see.
They gave us these hats to take pictures in.
So right now, you're having a
Coconut water.
agua de coco and a
Yeah, this drink was...
con cashew. And so when he initially, the waiter told us that the caipirinha con cashew was really good, and I thought he was talking about cashew nuts. So I was like, nah. But their cashew is actually whatever this is. Yeah, and it's pretty strong. These drinks in Rio are more expensive than the drinks that we've been having in Bahia and in Belo, but it's really strong. Yes.
Bang for your buck.
Bang for your buck.
Me again with my coconut water. This is the view from the rooftop of our hotel. I'll put the hotel in the description as well. But here's another one of our photo shoots. Ooh. And like, look, this is all the walking that we were doing. Well, I guess this doesn't look too crazy. I think after a while we were like, can we call Uber?
Okay, so it's day 2 in Rio. Right now we're walking the like street that borders the beach. We're about to go get some food from Bob's Burger. Say what's up.
Bob's Burger.
To let you see. It's like pretty hot, even though there's some overcast right now. And yeah, we're gonna eat and then head to the beach.
Oh man, and the smoothies. So we were at the beach and you see these like huge sand castles. This is the end of the boardwalk. So the edge of like the mountain. Yeah. Oh, this guy was funny. We stayed and watched him play with his dog for a while. Well, actually, I don't even know if that was his dog or a stray dog.
Yeah, I think it was a stray dog.
They're a lot kinder to stray dogs than we are, I guess.
Yeah. They went their separate ways after.
People fishing. We hung out down there too. This is literally like the edge of the mountain, and then there's people fishing. It's hard to describe, but it is so pretty to look at. Maurice with his poses. Oh yeah, and we like watched a random game too, like that was happening as we were walking. There was some drama.
Portuguese niggas, English niggas,
We didn't really know what was going on. Okay, so now this is our tour, and it hit all the, all the major sites that you have seen in videos of Brazil or pictures or whatever. So the cable cars, and yeah, this gives you such a good view of the city. And then we're riding up to Sugarloaf Mountain, which those views are crazy too. And I think our tour had like a group of, there were quite a few of us, maybe like 30 people. And I want to say it was probably like between $100 and $200 each. And again, it like you go to all the major sites in Rio, and it came with lunch, a buffet lunch. That was really good. You liked that one, right?
Yeah.
And like a tour guide and all of that. I don't know. I know a lot of people are not fans of tours, but we are. Like we do bus tours in just about every city we visit, even the ones in the United States. Um, and it's just a cool way to, like, the hop on, hop off buses are cool ways to navigate a city and just see what the major tourist sites are. And then even if you don't necessarily want to see those sites, like, you are able to ride around the city for cheaper than you'd be able to in an Uber or taxi.
What it was multiple stops
To
when
get to
when you went up the cable cart. So they stopped you at different parts of the mountains before you got to
Sugarloaf.
yeah, and it was people actually climbing the mountain as well too.
So we took the lazy route.
Yeah.
There were other people that were like rock climbing, just scaling the mountain. It was crazy. This video really doesn't do this view justice. Ta. Fashionista in the making. I think I dressed him.
Yeah, you did. I didn't like all my outfits though.
Oh my gosh. Oh, look. Yeah, the people. It's hard to see, but those little white dots are people climbing. Yeah. They're like little dots on the side of the mountain. A long way down. Such a long way. Good for them.
So we just took the cable car up to Sugarloaf Mountain, and now we're about to go see the view. We're on a tour. Okay, so right now we're on a city tour, and it takes you to all the major tourist destinations in Rio, and we just took the cable car
I like
to
this
Sugarloaf
Africa.
Mountain, and now we're gonna go see the
Yeah,
view,
me too.
take some pictures and everything.
Jackfruit.
Jackfruit. So these random people came up to me and asked me if they could take a picture with me. I don't know where they were from. They didn't speak English. But it was funny because first the husband came up and asked if he could take a picture with me. And then he went and got his, and then I took a picture with him, just him. And then he went and got his wife. And then I took a picture with the two of them. That's hilarious. Getting my pose on.
So we just took the cable car up to Sugarloaf Mountain, and now we're about to go see the view. We're on a tour. We're on a tour.
Oh. Oh. You should also know that when going up to the Jesus Christ statue, you have to do a lot of walking. Like maybe there are ways that you could arrange something, but like we had to walk up lots and lots of stairs.
Yeah,
And
no, it's
there were
like
escalators. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like escalators, but then in between the escalators, there's a lot of stairs.
Yeah.
But they said there's no other way.
Yeah. There's not like a cart or anything that you can take. Like you have to do lots of walking. Here's the buffet that was included in our tour. Some of the fancy stuff you had to pay additional for, but everything for the most part was included. And it's so, I mean, Rio's infrastructure and like the way that it's built is so interesting because like the mountains are the backdrop behind the hotels. So the hotels sit right up against the mountains. And you can like, as we're driving through, you can see the mountains through the hotels. Like in between them, it's a really crazy experience. Look at those guns. Getting my groove on. Oh yeah. So this little corner store sort of place was a place that we started going to pretty much every morning. We would go get a juice or a smoothie and breakfast, sometimes lunch. It was so good. Do not sleep on those little corner stores because the food is really good. And look how giant their avocados are. It's like as big as his head. And they make juices, smoothies, like it's more of a dessert kind of thing. Or fruit than vegetable. Like they don't really eat it the way that we eat it in the States. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. So here's a little snippet kind of us walking down, the street, just walking through the neighborhood. And it actually rained on our last day, so we didn't do a whole bunch more after the tour. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to hit those subscribe buttons. Follow us on our other individual platforms. All that stuff will be in the description. Yeah, thanks for watching.